We're going to go through some of the vocabulary and terms that we use in talking about the Cartesian plane and trigonometry. So let's get started. And we have our axes. So going across, this is our x-axis. And then vertically, we have our y-axis. Now the axes divide our Cartesian plane into 4 quadrants, and we start counting counterclockwise. So this one is called quadrant 1. We use the Roman numeral to indicate the quadrants. Our second one, we have quadrant 2, so 2 I's. This is our quadrant 3. And finally, we have quadrant 4. 4 is the letter I and a V, so 1 before 5. I'm also going to indicate the angles that each of these quadrants represent. Now, if I were thinking about it as a clock and going around counterclockwise, I would have 0 degrees to 90 degrees. Now, it doesn't include 0 degrees or 90 degrees because at 0 degrees, it is the x-axis. At 90 degrees, it is the y-axis. So I put the inequality symbols. So A is the number in between 90 and between 0. In quadrant 2, we have all of the degrees between 90 and 180 degrees. Quadrant 3, we have 180 degrees to 270. And quadrant 4 is 270 degrees to 360. I'm also going to talk a bit about our coordinates. In quadrant 1, our coordinates are all positive. So I have a positive x, positive y. In quadrant 2, we now have a negative x and a positive y. Quadrant 3, everything is negative, so negative x and a negative y. And then quadrant 4, positive x, negative y. Now, speaking about the angles, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So, like a clock, when we talk about the Cartesian plane and trigonometry, we're going to be talking about arms. So, our first arm is going to start along the positive x-axis. And this is called our initial arm. And this initial arm is fixed on the positive x-axis. And this is going to create an angle with our terminal arm. The terminal arm is the one that moves. So from the center, the terminal arm can be moving as far as it needs, and the angle is created by the space between the initial arm and the terminal arm. So this is our angle A. This is also called standard position. Standard position is the space starting at the positive x-axis and going counterclockwise. So standard position. Great, and that is it for the tutorial with our vocabulary.